Good morning, guys. Welcome to this demo session on mastering performance testing tool with performance testing using Neoload tool. So, as a part of this demo session, right, we are going to cover few important points. But before that, let me introduce myself. This is Mohan. I have around 10 years of experience on performance testing. I worked with multiple tools like JMeter, LoadRunner, and Neoload. So from last 4 years, I'm working on this Neoload tool, and I'm a Neoload certified professional, and I have like other Neoload certifications also. So as a part of this training, right, I just want to cover all the Neoload concepts, starting from basic to advanced level, so which are going to be useful for any performance testers. So let's quickly go with our agenda today. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about what is Neoload and the history of Neoload, also the key features of Neoload. So once after completing that, we'll go with the protocol supported by Neoload, and we'll do the comparison of Neoload versus JMeter versus LoadRunner in terms of few aspects. And once that is done, we'll try to understand when to use each tool, and finally, I'll cover the Neoload course content, the basic to advanced level course content, whatever that I'm going to teach you as a part of this training. And finally, we'll go with the conclusion and Q&A sessions. So let's quickly go ahead with what is Neoload. So we'll try to understand what is Neoload first. So Neoload is a comprehensive performance testing tool, guys. So which is going to be designed in order to test the web and mobile applications especially. We can also test the APIs and other services too. Okay. But the major concentration is on the web as well as mobile applications. And they will also, like with the help of the Neoload, we can also test the SAP GUI as well as the Citrix protocols too. And what we can do with the help of this Neoload is nothing but, so we can simply generate the heavy user load on the application. We can simply put heavy user load on the application. By this time, like everyone knows what is performance testing, I hope, right? So if you are not aware of what is performance testing, on a simple way, I just want to tell you. So once the application got developed, they are going to host that application on one server, right? For example, on some application architecture will be there. They're going to follow that application architecture, and they're going to host that or deploy that application on that server. So once the application is live, then number of users are going to access the application, and all the users are going to send the request to that server, and that server is going to send the response back to all the users. So if any sale period is happening, like a big billion day sale in India or a Thanksgiving sale in US, something like that, right? During those particular days, more number of users will access that application. More number of clients will access that application in order to purchase some items. Let us take an e-commerce application, right? So in that case, more number of users are going to access that application, and they're going to send the request to the server. Then server need to respond back for all those requests, right? So if more number of users are accessing this application, obviously your server resources are going to be utilized more. Because of that, there are chances that your servers may get crashed because of the high user load. So how we are going to avoid this kind of situation is nothing but we are going to do the performance testing of that application before the sale itself, so that we can avoid this kind of situations going forward. So one such particular performance testing tool is Neoload. So we have other tools also, like which are more popular, like JMeter, LoadRunner. And Neoload is also one such performance testing tool. With the help of this particular tool, we can simulate the user load on our applications. So especially the web and mobile applications nowadays. So like most of the companies, around 90 to 95% of the companies, they will go for the web and mobile applications. Again, there are a few other companies are also there which are working on the Citrix kind of thing. So they'll go for the Citrix protocols to verify it. But on a high level, Neoload is a performance testing tool which is designed to simulate the user load on the web applications as well as the mobile applications. And what this Neoload will do is it will help us to identify the potential bottlenecks. And also it is going to optimize the system performance under the varying levels of loads. We can do the testing with multiple user loads here with the help of this Neoload tool. And at that time, we are going to identify what are all the potential bottlenecks that we are going to get. So bottlenecks here are nothing but on a high level, you are expecting some particular kind of output, but you are not getting that output as expected. So which particular, what is the particular cause, okay, over here? So which particular thing is blocking your expected output? So that is nothing but we are going to call it as a bottleneck here. So here, your Neoload helps us to identify what are all the potential bottlenecks, and also it will provide you some optimized system performance. Okay, so we can verify with multiple user loads on this particular application, and we can verify whether that particular with that particular user load, your application is able to handle that user load or not. So those kind of things we can easily verify or easily do that with the help of Neoload. And Neoload supports the scalable load generation. So what is the meaning of scalable load generation here is nothing but, see, load generation means we are putting some user load on the application. Scalable load generation here is nothing but we can increase or decrease the user load during the time of test execution also. So that feature is available in Neoload. So this particular feature is not available in few of the tools, but this particular feature is good in Neoload and it is easy to handle in Neoload too. And also it is going to provide some advanced real-time monitoring. So at the time of test execution, right, we need to monitor our application properly. So we need to monitor our application resources. We need to monitor how our application response times are there, right? So a lot of things we need to monitor. So going forward, we are going to discuss all those points or metrics, whatever that we are going to monitor. But for now, just understand that so your Neoload tool is going to support the advanced real-time monitoring part. And also it is going to provide the detailed reporting. So once after the test execution got completed, immediately we need to analyze that particular test. Once the analysis of the test is done, we are going to simply generate the report if everything is fine, right? And this particular Neoload tool is going to provide the detailed reporting structure. So we can generate the standard reports with the help of the Neoload tool. We can generate the comparison reports with the help of the Neoload tool with our last run. And those comparison reports are also going to give you clear picture on this particular application. So which particular transactions are getting failed, which particular transactions are having high response times, right? So what is the error percentage that we got? So those kind of metrics, we can easily get it and we can report it to the client with the help of this detailed reporting structure, which is available in Neoload. And it is primarily used to test how applications perform under high traffic. This point already we covered it. So our intention is to put some high user load on the application and to ensure that the application is scalable, reliable, and responsive or not. So we need to concentrate on these three things. So if we increase the user load, whether your application is able to handle that user load or not, that is nothing but your scalable condition. If you increase the user load and if you are going to run the application for continuously for more than 8 hours or 9 hours, still if your application is providing the proper response, then I can say that application is reliable without giving any failure rates over here, right? And after running the test for continuously more than 8 hours or 10 hours, still if your application is responding properly, then it is good, right? So that indicates the responsiveness over here. So on a high level, so this tool is going to be used to send the heavy user load on the application and also to monitor the multiple metrics, okay, and also to identify the potential bottlenecks over here. So this is what the Neoload is. And one small thing here is, guys, like please feel free to stop me whenever if you have any questions. If not, like I'll proceed. Okay. So this is what on a high level Neoload is. So let's quickly go to the next slide and we'll try to understand like the history of Neoload. So when coming to the history of Neoload, right, in 2005, Neoload was founded by Neotis. Neotis is the company who initially started this Neoload tool. Okay, so their goal is to improve the performance testing enterprises, performance testing for enterprise applications especially. Okay, and they started developing the Neoload in 2005, and the first official release of Neoload was happened in 2008. And Neoload is a user-friendly tool, guys. So I can say like it is going to have a proper user-friendly interface, and you can simply drag and drop all the items, and you can use the elements or items over there in Neoload very easily. And in 2012, right, Neoload introduced the cloud-based load generation part. So, which is going to be really helpful for us. Nowadays, everything is cloud, right? So, from 2012 onwards, Neoload introduced that particular cloud-based concept. And in 2018, right, Neoload enhanced this features, okay, and also with CI/CD pipeline integrations, okay, and Azure, AWS, Google Cloud integrations are also possible with Neoload from 2018 onwards. And in 2020, right, this Tricentis company, they acquired this Neoload tool from not only the Neoload tool, they acquired complete Neotis company, and now it is a Tricentis Neoload. So previously it was Neotis Neoload, but now it is Tricentis Neoload. And after acquiring this particular Neotis company, this Tricent is also, they added, they made some major advancements here. Okay. They introduced other tools also like Tosca. They have like even from Neotis also the Tosca is there, but they added few advanced features uh, in that particular tools, especially like Tosca, Neoload, and other tools which are available from Tricentis. Okay. And finally, when it comes to now, right, Neoload is one of the widely used large enterprise application nowadays. So why it is widely used, I'm saying is nothing but, okay, I know that like most of the companies, they are preferring like JMeter and Load Runner, but nowadays the popularity of Neoload is also becoming high. So why? What is the reason for that? We'll understand like why the Neoload is becoming popular nowadays when compared to Load Runner especially. That we'll understand shortly. But for now, on a high level, this is what the history of Neoload is. Any questions till now?
Mohan, I have a question. Does
Yes.
Neoload support SAP?
Yes.
SAP?
Yes, it supports SAP GUI protocol. Yeah, I'll cover that protocols list. What are all the protocols that is going to cover? I'm going to tell you in the next slide.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's quickly go to the next slide. Okay. So we need to understand the key features of Neoload. This is very, very important. So the key features of Neoload, let us say I'll come with the first key feature. The first key feature is the user-friendly interface. So what it means? User-friendly interface is nothing but it has like a very easy to use interface. So when you open Neoload, right, you can simply understand what are all the options that you have by seeing that interface itself. And if you are aware of basic options in Neoload, you can simply drag and drop all those options and you can use that options very easily. So this helps the testers to create and execute the test without needing of any advanced coding skills here. So maximum part, you can do it by simply dragging and dropping over here, and you can do whatever that you want with a simple clicks here. That is the reason why I can say the best feature of Neoload is the user-friendly interface. And the next best feature is the cloud load generation. Okay, cloud load generation is also one of the best feature that we have. So this cloud load generation will lets you to simulate the thousands of users from different geolocations. So let us say you are trying to access one e-commerce application, and that e-commerce application is having popularity. Let us take an application called Amazon or Flipkart, right? So if you go with Amazon, like US people are also going to use Amazon, and India also we are going to use Amazon, right? So different people from different time zones and different locations, they are going to access that application. So if you want to test that kind of behavior, so that kind of option is also available in Neoload with the help of this cloud load generation concept. We'll see in our future sessions, we'll see how we are going to do that cloud generation setup and everything in our coming sessions. So the next key feature that this Neoload is having is the real-time monitoring. As I mentioned, right, real-time monitoring means during the test execution itself, we can monitor few metrics, whatever that we feel like it is important. So generally, this real-time monitoring feature is not available directly with the tool in JMeter, especially. So if you go with JMeter tool, right, obviously, in order to monitor your test execution, you need to integrate your JMeter tool with uh, InfluxDB and Grafana kind of things, right? Grafana kind of tools. But here, what we can do is we have the option to monitor our test execution directly without any issues, without adding any new tools over here. So that is the major advantage of this particular tool. Real-time monitoring is very easy and we can do it with very simple clicks. Even though load runner have this option, but we need to again integrate with multiple tools, or again monitoring is not that much proper in load runner is what I feel when it comes to the LRE at the time of test execution when compared to Neoload. Okay. So the next feature that we have is advanced reporting and analytics. So as I mentioned, right, we can go with the advanced reporting as well as we can do the advanced analysis also. Here in Neoload, we have multiple graphs, okay, that is available with a single click as well as with a single drag and drop down. So we can compare the graphs so easily in Neoload, and also we can compare it with minute differences. Like we can compare each and every graph very easily when compared to other tools. And also when it comes to the reporting part, we'll get lot of metrics reporting in a clear way. So no need to give any user inputs to generate the report. So it has already some predefined inbuilt features which is available over there. So with the help of those features, it is going to generate a proper advanced report which you can share it directly to your client. And another key feature that we have with Neoload is the CI/CD integration. So nowadays, like it is common, right? Every company is moving into DevOps culture, right? So in DevOps culture, CI/CD integration is must. So Jenkins integration, GitHub integration, right? So it is mandatory nowadays. So that CI/CD integration part is so simple to do here in Neoload when compared to other tools like JMeter as well as LoadRunner. This is one more important feature that the Neoload is having. It is very simple to integrate your tool with uh, CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so that is one more advantage or the key feature that I can say. When it comes to the next part, that is the parameterization and correlation part. So doing parameterization and correlation is very common in performance testing, and I can say it is the heart of the performance testing. So if you take any tool, whether it may be JMeter or LoadRunner or Neoload, parameterization and correlation concepts are pretty much common. But you can do the parameterization and correlation very easily with the help of the Neoload tool, especially when it comes to the correlation part, right? You can create your own frameworks here, which will reduce your script enhancement work. So this framework creation option is the key advantage of Neoload, I can say. Why? Because in Load Runner also we have the framework creation option, but that is not that much feasible when compared to Neoload. And in Load Runner, like it is a lengthy process, somewhat lengthy process. But here in Neoload, it is too simple and directly we can uh, create our framework with a simple clicks, and we can use that framework for our future scripts at the time of enhancements very easily. So that option also we are going to discuss as a part of this training in our coming sessions. And the next one is the advanced scripting concepts, right? So advanced scripting also we can do it easily with the help of Neoload tool. So with the help of JavaScripts, right, we can add, if you want to add any custom coding, right? So generally, if it is a JMeter tool, you need to use like Bean Shell or JSR 223 elements, okay? And you need to write Bean Shell code or Groovy code or JavaScript code over there to run this particular custom coding, right? So again, in if it is a load runner, we need to go with the C programming. But here in Neoload, we'll go with the JavaScripting especially. But writing the JavaScripting code and everything is also very easy. They are going to provide some basic uh, structure. Okay. So with the help of that structure, you can easily write the code and you can easily do the changes according to your requirement. And advanced scripting process is very, very simple in Neoload when compared to other tools. I can say that. And finally, the key feature of this Neoload is virtual users and load simulation. So as I mentioned, right, we can go with uh, virtual user setup very easily in Neoload, and we can connect to the load generators also very easily with the help of Neoload tool. And with the help of this Neoload tool, we can run the test with some thousands of users, right? And again, this Neoload tool is a licensed tool. Remember that. This Neoload tool is a licensed tool. It's not a open source tool like JMeter. But it has all the features that your JMeter as well as load runner is going to have. So in a simple way, I can say that the combination of JMeter tool and load runner tool is going to be your Neoload tool. So you can do lot of things very easily and very comfortably with the help of this Neoload tool because of all these key features. Okay. So with this, the key features part is done. So let's quickly jump into the next slide. So wherein we have the protocol supported by Neoload tool. So the first protocol that your Neoload tool is going to support is HTTP or HTTPS protocol. So which is ideal for web application testing. Okay, web applications. Most of the web applications will use this protocol. And the second protocol that it is going to support is the WebSockets. Okay, for messaging platforms, we are going to use it most of the times. And the next one is the SOAP as well as REST APIs. That is nothing but web services. We can easily test the web services protocols also with the help of this Neoload. And also it is going to support the JDBC. That means database performance testing. We can integrate the database with our Neoload with the help of the different actions that are available in Neoload. And we can do the database performance testing also with the help of Neoload. And FTP, SMTP, and POP3. Okay, so these are all file transfer and email-based email transfer protocols which are going to be used. And these protocols are also being supported by Neoload. And the key thing is Citrix as well as SAP GUI protocols. These two protocols are also very, very important. Nowadays, like we are seeing like SAP GUI protocol is being popular for SAP applications. And Citrix, again, very less we are going to use it, but it is going, but your Neoload tool is going to support Citrix protocol testing also in a very easiest way when compared to other tools. So these are all the different protocols that your Neoload is going to support.
Okay, thank you.
So when it comes to the next slide, right? So this is the key difference that I want to bring between the Neoload, JMeter, and Load Runner. So when it comes to the feature called ease of use, okay. So I can say like using Neoload is pretty much easy when compared to JMeter and Load Runner. So why? Because the GUI, it is completely GUI based. So we can simply drag and drop each and every element in Neoload and we can use it. So dragging and dropping is so easy. Whereas in JMeter, right, again, here also we have the option to add all the elements, whatever that is required, but we need to create everything manually over here in JMeter. When it comes to load runner, again, everything in load runner will comes in the form of a code. Okay, in the form of either C code or JavaScript code, whatever that we are going to choose at the time of recording. So again, understanding that code and remembering all those functions will be complex in load runner when compared to Neoload. So I can say like when it comes to ease of use, Neoload is the best tool which you can learn very easily when compared to JMeter and load runner. But again, as I mentioned, it is a combination of JMeter and load runner only. So why? Because this Neoload tool got introduced after these two tools. That's it. So that's the reason why they developed in such a way that it is the combination of JMeter and load runner. Some of the good features from load runner and some of the good features from JMeter, they added it in Neoload and they developed that particular tool. Okay. When it comes to yeah, please.
Here we don't need to do recording in
No,
Neoload.
here
As
also,
like
here also we need to do the recording, but only the thing is in JMeter, I hope like you are having experience on JMeter, right?
yeah,
Yeah, in JMeter, generally what we'll do, we'll simply take help of the templates, or we'll simply add all the elements manually like thread group, recording controller, test script recorder. All those elements we need to add manually and we need to do that, right? So here that
yeah.
is not required. So you can directly click on the record button and you can record the application like how we are going to record in other tools. No need of adding all the elements manually. Your tool itself will take care of that and it will segregate everything accordingly. So it is easy to use when compared to JMeter in terms of adding the elements. That manual work is going to be reduced here.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see that like how to do the recording and everything in tomorrow's session. Okay. So tomorrow I'll show you like the difference if you want. I can show you the JMeter as well as load runner also. And we'll go with Neoload too. So that you will understand like which one is very easy for recording purpose. Not only for
Okay, thanks.
yeah, not only for recording purpose, even at the time of usage also, like the script enhancement also, this Neoload tool is flexible. So the next part is the test scripting part. So when it comes to the test scripting part, right, for some features, obviously we need to write some coding. Okay, for wherever if we want to do some custom coding, in those cases we need to write the code for sure. Okay, in all the three tools, it is mandatory. But again, right, when it comes to the test scripting part, no coding is required related to the scripting. Why? Because everything is in the form of an element. Okay. And you can simply click on that and you can do the correlations or parameterizations so simply here in Neoload tool. Even in JMeter tool also, you can do that easily. But only the thing is you need to again add all the things manually. Let us say if you want to do the correlation in JMeter. So what generally we are going to do is we need to add one element, either the boundary extractor or the regular expression extractor, which is a post processor. And then we need to add all the left boundary, right boundary things are writing the regular expression in that manually. But that part is not there in Neoload. You can simply do the correlation with a single click. You can simply select the boundaries also very easily, even though if it is a manual correlation, you can simply correlate it very easily by clicking on, by picking the boundaries. It's hardly take like less than 1 minute to do the correlation in Neoload. In load runner, again, we have options to go with like steps toolbox, wherein we can type the function and we can provide the boundaries. But again, working with Neoload is more comfortable even in terms of correlation when compared to other tools. So those who are aware of other tools, right, they will find like that ease when they are working with this Neoload tool. I'm pretty much sure on that. Why? Because I have experience on all the three tools and I felt the same. So coming to the next one is the protocol support. We already discussed that protocol support. Again, multiple protocol support is possible with Neoload 2. Okay. So when it comes to protocol support, right, load runner, I can say it is best. It is going to support more protocols when compared to Neoload. But again, whoever like 90% of the companies, whatever they are going to use those protocols, right? So those protocols are obviously being supported by Neoload tool also. So that is the major thing. And CI/CD integration is very, very simple with Neoload. Okay, and you will get the proper support also from Tricentis team. That support we are not going to get it for load runner. So again, load runner support team is also there. Okay, but we need to do some custom setup over here, whereas that is not required in Neoload tool. And JMeter, we know like how to integrate. It's a very common thing. So Jenkins integration is possible with JMeter also. Their CI/CD integration. But again, it's a bit complex task, but that is fine. We need to do everything on the Jenkins part and we are going to integrate it. Here, it is a bit complex when compared to the other tools. Okay. When it comes to the cloud-based testing, right? So inbuilt cloud-based testing option is available here. Whereas in load runner, we need to do the manual setup. Okay, we need to manually add all the LGs and we need to do that LGs setup also from multiple locations manually. But here we have inbuilt option. Okay, inbuilt cloud testing option in Neoload, which is very, very good feature, I can say. When it comes to scalability, like all the three tools, I can say it is good. We can test with multiple users with all the three tools. But JMeter is an open source tool, which is a free tool. Okay. So if any options we need to use here, like if you want to run multiple test executions with multiple different thread groups, then we need to download those plugins and we need to take help of the plugin manager and we need to download the plugins and we need to do the setup accordingly. But here, that option is not required. No need to download anything. So here in Neoload, they provided the different setup options. Okay. So with the help of those options, you can simply do the test execution setup and you can scale the users. Okay. By providing the proper ramp up and ramp down times very easily in Neoload. And even in load runner also, it is easy, I can say. But only the thing is, load runner is going to be used for large scale applications, whereas for mid scale applications, I can say you can go easily with Neoload tool. No need to work with load runner tool in those cases. When it comes to live performance monitoring, again, right, this particular tool is having real-time dashboards inbuilt, whereas it requires some additional setup in load runner. And in JMeter, we know we are going to get only the basic reports. If you want to get some reports, again, you need to run the test in GUI mode. That is not preferable. Okay, you need to download the plugins and everything related to reports also, and you need to add that. So when compared to the other tools, right, in this case, I can say like real-time dashboards are very much good in Neoload when compared to JMeter and Roadrunner. And when it comes to automated correlation part, so here it is fully automated in Neoload, whereas partially automated in Load Runner, and we need to do only the manual correlation in JMeter without any plugins, I can say. So when it comes to the cost, right, obviously JMeter is an open source tool. So that is the reason why most of the companies who are not able to maintain some amount for the uh, license purchase and everything, right? They'll go for JMeter. Otherwise, when you compare the load runner and Neoload, right? Obviously, I can say Neoload is best in terms of pricing also when compared to load runner. So the pricing of license for load runner is a bit expensive when compared to Neoload. So that is the reason why Neoload is becoming more popular nowadays. So those who are not able to bear the load runner price, right? They are simply moving to Neoload tool. They are going to get the license tool and they are going to get all the features which are available in Neoload, almost all the features which are available in load runner in Neoload. So they are moving from load runner to Neoload nowadays. So because of that, Neoload is popular these days. Okay. So when to use JMeter tool, when to use load runner tool, when to use Neoload tool, that also we need to understand. So I can say like for a small scale web application testing, right? You can go for the JMeter. If it is enterprise level performance testing, then Neoload is preferable. If it is a legacy systems like SAP, mainframe, Citrix, then I can say you can go with load runner. Yeah. Nowadays, Neoload is also supporting SAP and Citrix in a very good way. Okay. So you can go with Neoload also. Recently, I heard from one person that they are using SAP protocol and with load runner. But now they are migrating from load runner to Neoload. So because of the cost cutting, obviously, right? So Neoload is also supporting SAP GUI, right? So because of that, they are migrating from load runner to Neoload. So this is happening nowadays. And CI/CD integration related thing means I can say you go with Neoload. If you want to go with API and microservices level load testings, then I can prefer Neoload. It is very simple to import the APIs into the Neoload when compared to other two tools. You have a specific option in Neoload to import the Swagger files or your Postman files directly. So that option, that feature will help you, will reduce your work completely in terms of the API testing. So on a high level, right? On a high level, I can say Neoload is one of the best tool that you can go with. Okay. So with this, I'll just simply show you the course content, whatever that I'm going to cover as a part of this training. So once after that, I'll go with the conclusion part. Okay. So as a part of this training session, I'm going to cover these modules here. So the entire training session is divided into 14 different modules. So in module one, I'll start with introduction to performance testing. So those who are not aware of performance testing, they'll make use of this introduction concept. Okay. So in this, I'm going to cover the topics called introduction to performance testing, and what is application architecture, like what are all the three layers that are there in the application architecture, and how an e-commerce application architecture is going to look like. So those kind of topics I'm going to cover here. Once after completing that, I'll go with the performance testing lifecycle process. I'll explain the end-to-end performance testing lifecycle process, and we'll go for, with each and every stage process. Okay. So as a part of this training, right, I'm going to take one application, so which is hosted on my machine. So this is the Knob Commerce application, which already I installed it on my machine. So I'm going to cover this application end to end. So starting from let us say if you are working on a software company and there is one requirement came for the performance testing of this application. So how we are going to start the performance testing and how we are going to end the performance testing from starting to ending of the performance testing process, how we'll do generally in our companies, right? So I'm going to cover in the same way here by gathering the requirements, okay, by preparing the test plan documents, right, by creating the traversal flow documents, right? And also we need to understand the developer tools concept, like what is request, what is response, and what sort of request different request methods that we have, okay, what are all the different response codes that we may get, right? So those kind of things I'm going to cover. And apart from that, I'll also cover the workload modeling concept, which is very, very important concept, which is going to be very helpful at the time of test execution, right? And I'll ask you to do all these assignments for each and every topic, whatever that I'm going to cover, guys. So I'll provide like one assignment after each and every session. You need to complete that assignment and you need to share that. So you need to prepare the NFR document on your own. Okay. I'll provide you some insights by showing some real-time documents. Okay. And I'll provide you the templates of that documents. So by taking the templates, you need to start developing the NFR document for the application, whatever that I just showed you, right? So you need to also prepare the test plan document, traversal flow document, right? You need to develop the workload modeling document. Each and every document you need to develop and you need to show it to me as a part of this assignment section. So this is the first module which give you some introduction to the performance testing. And as a second module, right, we are going to install all the required softwares. So as a part of this training, what are all the softwares that are required? We are going to install all those softwares here, which includes the Neoload, Dynatrace, and Jenkins here. So we are going to do the complete environment setup related to our performance testing of this particular application. Okay, so that complete setup, we are going to do it as a part of this second module. So when it comes to the third module, I'll provide you the introduction of this Neoload. Okay, and I'll give you the architecture, Neoload architecture, how it is going to look like, and what are all the components that are there in the Neoload, an overview of the design module, runtime module, and results module that is available in Neoload. So here we are going to show how I'm going to show how you are going to record the application and how we are going to see all the options that are there in the Neoload as a part of this third module. And again, assignment is going to be there for each and every module. You can read that assignment later. And when it comes to the fourth module, right, I'm going with the script and scripting part as well as the enhancements here. So here we are going to record the script. We are going to validate the user paths, and we are going to see what is the use of this flag feature that is available in Neoload, and how we are going to do the parameterization and correlation. Okay, especially when it comes to the correlation, how we will perform the manual correlation, how we'll go for the auto correlation, how we are going to create the frameworks. Okay, all those things I'll cover here. And as well as what are all the different logical actions that we have, how to use those logical actions in as a part of the scripting, right? What are all the different variables that are available for parameterization purpose, right? How to add the SLAs, right? So these kind of things, validating using assertions, how to add the assertions, our text checks, right? How we are going to create the populations, how we will try to execute our test with different browsers. Let us say I recorded the script with Chrome browser, but my client requirement is to check with Mozilla Firefox browser. Then how I'll do that browser emulation, how I'll go with the network simulation, right? And how I can add the monitors, simple monitors related to that, right? So all these concepts I am going to cover in module 4. And in module 5, right, I'm going to cover the load testing strategies and optimization. So here we'll discuss like how to do the setup of load test, what is load test, what are all the different types of test executions that we are going to perform, right? How to do the test execution setup of each and every test, right? So what is ramp up and ramp down strategies and test scheduling strategies, right? So different options which is related to the test execution setup as well as test execution we are going to discuss here in the fifth module. When it comes to the sixth module, so how to integrate our Neoload with Dynatrace, right? So at the time of test execution, how we are going to monitor your services in Dynatrace, right? So how to monitor the CPU and memory utilization in Dynatrace. So these kind of points which are related to performance testing. Okay. So from performance tester standpoint, like how much that you need to know about Dynatrace, those points I'm going to cover here. When it comes to the seventh module, we'll go with result analysis and report generation. So once the test execution got completed, we need to analyze the result, like how to analyze the result with the help of the Neoload tool and how to generate the graphs as well as the reports once everything is good here, right? So that we'll do it as a part of module 7. So when it comes to the module 8, right, I'll cover the advanced concepts like tunnel mode of recording, okay, and how to use the record here option and how to do the user path update, okay, and also how to do the transaction element settings and exporting the contextualized raw data, how to do that, and writing the data in Neoload GUI using JavaScript, right? How to write a data to a CSV file by using the JavaScript. These points I'm going to cover as a part of module 8, right? When it comes to the module 9, I'm going to cover like how to integrate your third-party tools like Jenkins, okay, GitHub and everything with Neoload. I'm going to cover that here. And as a part of this module 10, I'm going to cover like how to do the setup of load generators, how to add the load generators to your script, okay, and how to run the test with the help of load generators. Okay, that distributed load testing concept I'm going to show you practically. I'm going to take help of my desktop computer. I'll use my desktop computer as an LG. I'll connect to that desktop computer using remote desktop connection. And I'm going to show you how we can use the desktop as an LG here. And apart from that, in module 11, I'm going to explain about performance benchmarking and comparison. So how to identify the benchmark test, okay? And what are all the key things that we are going to verify, we are going to consider over there for benchmarking, and how to compare the test with the benchmark test, right? Those things I'll cover in module 11. And in module 12, I'm going to cover about the Neoload API testing, that is web services protocol. I'm going to cover here how we are going to generate the REST as well as SOAP setup here, how we are going to do the REST and SOAP setup in Neoload, and how we are going to run the test and execute multiple APIs at a time, right? Those kind of concepts I'm going to cover in module 12. When it comes to module 13, I'm going with the advanced Neoload scripting techniques, like advanced correlation techniques, how to handle the dynamic values when left boundary is there, when right boundary is not there. Okay, when left and right boundaries are varying, right? How to parameterize the cookies and headers, right? So few advanced concepts I'm going to cover here in module 13. And finally, in module 14, I'm going to cover about the Neoload web, that is the SaaS version of your Neoload, and how to create the workspace, how to do the project setup, how to go for the dashboards, and how to execute the tests and monitor the tests, and how to lease the license from Neoload during with the help of Neoload web. Okay, those kind of things I'm going to cover here as a part of module 14, right? So these are all the different concepts that I'm going to cover as a part of this training. Any questions here? Please feel free to ask.
You also,
Sorry?
can you also include one mobile app performance testing as well?
See, mobile app performance testing, it is going to be a separate course again. We can't include that in web. As a part of this, I'm going to cover only two protocols, HTTP, HTTPS, as well as web services. I can show you the database integration also, but not the mobile. Mobile one, it is going to be a separate course again. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? So if not, right, I can say as a conclusion, I can say like out of all the tools which are available, for performance testing right now. Each and every tool is having their own advantages as well as disadvantages. But I can say like when it comes to the Neoload, I can see more advantages only. Even though Neoload have some disadvantages too, but that is very much less when compared to other tools, is what I feel. And working with Neoload is going to be pretty much comfortable when compared to other performance testing tools. So with this, I just want to conclude the session here for today. And in tomorrow's session, as I mentioned, right, I'm going to cover like how to record the script with the help of Neoload tool, and I'll show you some other options which are related to Neoload. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks for attending this session. We'll meet again tomorrow at the same time. Thanks, everyone.